What's up guys, John here. We are witnessing the collapse of California. On this channel we talk about all things personal finance, real estate, business, and money. And I'm a real estate investor. I do business in California. And I'm watching my freedoms just getting eroded. Taxes going up. More regulation for landlords. Just more and more pain. But now, I thought I saw everything, but now, starting April 15th, things are going to go from bad to horrific. You're going to need to show a proof of negative testing or an app for you to enter businesses, venues, events, concerts. If you want to send your kids to school, they need to have the Microsoft app on their phone so they can check in. I'm going to go into all of this, what we're going to expect in this video. What are your thoughts about all this? I mean, some people are for it, some are against it. For me, I just think this goes against our freedoms. This goes against what America is. America is 1776, the land of freedom. No more, it seems, especially in California. Drop your comments below. Please smash that like button. Help me share this video and expose what Gavin Newsom is doing to the people of California. Let's begin. Will the passport be California's newest trend? As baseball fans head to San Francisco for the Giants opening game Friday, they will be required to show proof that they rolled up their sleeve or a 72-hour-old or less negative test result in order to be admitted. In addition to requiring the so-called passport, the Giants will fill the stadium at only 22% occupancy early on, which amounts to approximately 8,900 people, and the rules are subject to change as more people roll up their sleeve. But what's interesting is, let's look at how much revenue this business is losing, this stadium, because ultimately the businesses are going to be the ones that enforce everything. So they can fit 41,915 people inside of the stadium, and now they're taking 8,900. So the average ticket price right now, $200, roughly $200. So $200, it equates to $6.6 million just in ticket revenue. And nobody goes to a ball game without buying, a hot dog or popcorn or a beer or something. So they're probably losing out on $10, $12 million per game that they're not enforcing this protocol. So ultimately, what's going to happen is there's no way that they can keep up with these high-flying contracts with these athletes and the private jets and the big salaries and bonuses with the managers. They're only bringing in 22% of the revenue. Now, if you are a business owner in California, this is what you can expect next week. You can have 50 people outdoors if you have a reception, if you have a meeting, a conference, anything. 50 people. However, if you see to it that every single person has been tested or every single person rolled up their sleeve, you can have 200 people. So essentially, they're going to regulate your business by 75% if you don't comply. Now, 100 people indoors if tested, or they've all rolled up their sleeve. So if you don't comply, you can't have anyone come inside of your business. Meetings, receptions, think wedding venues, think businesses that are struggling, that are just trying to get back on their feet after this last year. You're going to have a really hard time if you don't comply. And according to the Department of Public Health, people will be required to show a test or roll up their sleeve to attend an indoor reception, meeting, conference beginning April 15th. I feel bad for these business owners. People still need to hold these events and we still need to survive because it's our financial livelihood. So if we have to keep track of guests that come in who have rolled up their sleeve and those who have negative testing results, and that has to be the case, then so be it, because we need to do whatever we need to do to reopen again. So they really worn people down to the point to where they will do anything. You think about this, and this woman may have kids, has to feed her kids, might have a mortgage, and she wants to just keep her life going forward. And this is her only way that she thinks is the way out of this. I hope that everything works out well for her, but it's a bad situation. I feel bad for people because there's a lot of people that are going to be fully for going forward and rolling up the sleeve and following protocols, but there's also a lot of people that don't want to do that. Now we're essentially building out a two-tier system where one society wants to do this and one doesn't, and because of that, there's going to be less customers supporting businesses because it's not everyone going to a business. It's only going to be a certain percentage of people now. And then ultimately, who wins is big tech. Me being a father, paying attention to what my kids are going to be going through in their life is more important than almost anything. But when I see stuff like this, what they're now running in schools, it has me so concerned. LA schools to track every kid using Microsoft's Daily Pass app. School officials say the tracking app will keep kids safe, but critics warn the technology required in order for children to attend class infringes on kids' privacy, and the parents should be concerned. Los Angeles schools plan to reopen next month, and when they do, every child will be required to have the tracking app that will be scanned daily before they can enter the classroom. The LA Unified School District last month announced the launch of Daily Pass, a tracking system developed by Microsoft. The app will scan children in schools using a barcode to coordinate health checks, tests, and the Daily Pass generates a unique QR code each day for each student and staff member that authorizes entry to a specific LA Unified location. An individual must have a negative test result, show no symptoms, and have a temperature under 100 degrees in order to gain entry to class. So they're going to be tracked, traced, they're going to have all of your health information. What does this mean for freedom? How is this going to change the kids in LA Unified? Think about how they're going to be sitting at the desk with the shield all over them, covered with a mask, tracking and getting their barcode scanned to and from class, trying to just get into school to gain an education. Business owners have been struggling.
Just a brief interruption, Steve Close here. I just can't imagine that this is happening. I don't know why I'm laughing. I mean, kids having to do this? This is just preposterous. I'm 77 years old, soon to be 78, born and raised in California, and this is an utter nightmare. 99.9% of people have survived this COVID, and people under 60, even more survival. Kids, almost no threat whatsoever. This is clearly a front for the tyrants to take over and ruin and destroy our lives. The people that go along with this should be very ashamed, frankly. Very ashamed. They must be so uninformed to go along with this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep going now with the video.
To make ends meet during the last year. However, Gavin Newsom has never been richer, never been more powerful. Newsom received a $3.7 million mansion for free. Absolutely for free. Look at this. One thing that's been extraordinarily clear to California in 2020 is that there's one set of rules for Gavin Newsom, and then there's another set of rules for everybody else. He preaches that we're all in this together and we have to sacrifice to meet this moment, yet he's not missing a paycheck. As California businesses struggle, he spends $1 billion on this Chinese mask deal. And when he shut down wineries 80% throughout California, he kept his open. That mask deal, that $1 billion mask deal, he refused to answer any questions about it. It was a very shady situation. And then when the dream of owning a home is increasingly out of reach for California families, it appears that Newsom received a $3.7 million mansion. It sits on 12 acres, by the way, from an LLC. It was gifted to his cousin, and then his cousin signed it over to him. And then what he did was he took a loan out against it. That's called a cash out refinance. Took a loan out against it for $2.695 million, tax free, and then he didn't report it on his financial disclosures. So he essentially just got a gift for $3.7 million. Pretty incredible. Making all this money, all these rules, and what's very interesting is Bill Gates gave him praise on Twitter a while ago, and saying that he's doing such a great job, and now he's rolling out Microsoft's app. What are your thoughts on what they're doing now with businesses, with schools and children, with the regulation and control? Some people are really for it. They think that this is a very good thing. My wife was at a dog park the other day, and the person on the bench next to her was saying that this is a great thing. But then I hear a lot of other people on the other side saying that this is a horrible thing for society and that this can't go on. So I'm curious what the general consensus is of society, of people. Do you want this or don't you want this, and why? Do you think this is a good thing? My concern, my real concern about this is that businesses don't survive, the small mom and pop business. And we have 30,500,000 small businesses in America. If this gets rolled out, then what we're going to likely have is a lot of people not supporting small business, meaning small businesses don't make it. And if small businesses can't hire local people in the community, then there's no opportunity. And then ultimately, it's just the corporations, the big companies that run everything. And if they run everything, then what personal freedoms do we have left? So that's the real question. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at that from a business perspective, from an investing perspective, looking at real estate, taking all this information in, because we're at such a pivotal point in society, in the world, that anything can happen. And so I'm wondering, what do you guys think? Drop your comments below. Please smash that like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube is going to be more likely to share this content, and the more people be aware of what's really happening in California. And consider subscribing for more honest information on personal finance, real estate, business, and of course, money. All right, guys, until next time. Hey, if you'd like to learn how to get started on YouTube, click the link in my bio for free live training. And
anyway, this is just horrific. Everything he said, I sympathize with. I agree with that this is just a complete tyrannical, unbelievable takeover, and that if you're complying, you really are not doing yourself a favor.